Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for tuning in. Hit subscribe right now. This YouTube live stream will abide by all YouTube policies. God bless John Fetterman. I want to commend him on surviving and, how shall we say, just surviving what he's gone through. So God bless him. Any critique I have is not meant to disparage him in any way, shape, or form. Mehmet Oz ate him alive. We'll get to that. Hit subscribe to my super chat. I cannot do this without you, ladies and gentlemen. I don't have $20 million in venture capital funding like some channels who promise the world. And, you can see Democrats flip-flop on everything. They wanted to ban fracking. Even I did years back when I was the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet, according to the Huffington Post, and the unofficial scribe of Sanders' most hardcore voters, according to the Washington Post. You can see that he's petrified now of his old positions. Banning fracking is a terrible, terrible, terrible idea. And it is something that would make you completely irrelevant in Pennsylvania, since fracking and the fossil fuel industry is very important. Energy is very important to the people of Pennsylvania. But I'll get to my critique of Fetterman in a second. Hit subscribe to my super chat again. Thank you so much. I cannot do this without you, ladies and gentlemen. And what can I tell you? Let's get started. First of all, I listened to most of the debate. I watched most of the debate. And I can tell you that the Democrat on stage was not very coherent. I say this with all due respect. He did not make sense. If you look at it, I'm trying to find a transcript. I cannot find a transcript yet. But if you look, he did not communicate in complete sentences. The poor man did not communicate in complete sentences, and God bless him. I wish him the best. I'm not trying to disparage or demean him in any way. Okay, this has nothing to do with people who've survived certain, situations. He doesn't represent everyone who is, undergone or survived the issues he survived, but he got eaten alive, ladies and gentlemen. Oz ate this man alive. Fetterman flip-flopped on fracking. Crime, Oz got him on. Inflation, the economy, and there were numerous points, there were so many times, almost every time he opened his mouth to speak, Fetterman was not really coherent. He didn't really express himself in a logical manner. He was what he would do is the same thing Biden does. It's like you had mashed potato brains Joe stumping and campaigning for Fetterman. That's like R. Kelly campaigning for Anthony Weiner. You have two people who don't really communicate very well. They don't express their thoughts in a coherent manner. And that doesn't mean, you don't have to be such an eloquent orator. You don't have to be the best public speaker on the planet. But when you're trying to combine two different thoughts and two different sentences within one sentence, and you're not very confident in the words that are coming out of your mouth, I don't know, there's no, it was he was a really, really sad, it wasn't really embarrassing, it was just depressing. It was depressing and sad to watch this man on stage. And I say this with all due respect. Again, I'm not trying to insult anybody. Democrats would rather have somebody one fry short of a Happy Meal, and we see that in the Oval Office, than Trump. The way Democrats look at Trump is that anyone is better. Anyone is better. It could be anybody. It could be anybody. Char West, hello, Mikey, Eric, H526, Tammy, Mark, everybody. Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. So, you had a situation, if you look right here, I mean, this is from Pat Toomey. It's sad to see John Fetterman struggling so much. He should take more time to allow himself to fully recover. That is true. There's no shame, or there's no, like, Democrats would rather push somebody, and you see this in the Oval Office. It's almost elder abuse. You see an entire system. The Democratic Party is a system. It's not a political party. It's a public relations monstrosity. There's a reason that Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Kimmel and Seth Meyer and Stephen Colbert and everyone at the Washington Post and everyone at the New York Times and everyone at Vanity Fair and Esquire and the New Yorker and the Atlantic and Hollywood and Twitter algorithms, which will change by Friday. Elon Musk is going to purchase Twitter officially on Friday. Dr. Evil 814, Red Wave, exactly. I mean, after tonight, Dr. Evil, to my super chat, thank you so much. I mean, I don't know what to say, Dr. Evil. I don't know what, I am at a loss for words. This was the most one-sided debate I have ever seen in my life. And it wasn't that Oz was that great. I mean, he was pretty good. It's not even about Mehmet Oz. You had somebody who was fumbling over words, and you could tell he was not confident in speaking. He was not confident in communicating. Again, I'm not insulting the man. I'm not demeaning him. Democrats should be ashamed of themselves to force somebody who is not ready or prepared or fully recovered. M. Evram, hello. Dr. Evil 814, thank you so much for your support always. Quinn, hello. Thank you so much, Dr. Evil 814. To my super chat, thank you. I don't know what to say. I mean, Fetterman, first of all, he's an extreme left-leaning Democrat. Okay? They tried to get Oz on Dobbs. It didn't work. Every time they tried to get Oz on something, he would communicate effectively and say, no, that's not exactly true. Or he would say, look, my record is better. The police department in Fetterman's town backs Oz. Pennsylvania has a higher crime rate and homicide rate than most of the country. Okay? And so you look inflation, crime, homelessness, immigration. These are all issues that Kelly in Arizona, Fetterman in Pennsylvania, Warnock in Georgia. You're looking at a red wave even in the Senate. You could do much better than 51 or 52 seats. Democrats lost the Senate tonight. I mean, if there was any question, if you're voting for a man, like this is the thing. It's not about intelligence, it's about wisdom. Okay, even if you could filter through Fetterman's responses, which were this, like he was trying so hard to communicate, and you could see, like, I give him props and I give him respect for trying to communicate. But even when you listen to his sentences that were pieced together, and a lot of the sentences were like run-on sentences where another thought would be added on to the initial statement, and it would end, like if you read the transcript, if the transcript is actually the way that Fetterman spoke, exactly his words, the transcript would be an embarrassment. and you're talking about the United States Senate, would you give this man or the wonderful mashed potato brains in our Oval Office, would you give either of them the keys to your car? Would you give Fetterman or Joe Biden the keys to your car? If you had a Ferrari, would you give them the keys to your car to drive around the block? Would you give Fetterman the keys to your car? Would you give Fetterman the keys to your house? or I mean, would you give them any responsibility at all? JJ, hello, thank you. Lou, hello. I mean, this is the thing. If you don't like Trump, that's fine. If you don't like a great economy, record low in unemployment, 2% inflation, like Fetterman was talking about energy independence. That's a Republican line. That's not a Democratic Party line. Okay, love trucks, hello. You have a situation where you are entrusting somebody with a very important position, even if you don't like Trump. Do you really think that Biden or Fetterman is better than Trump or a Trump Republican? Do you really think that, like, Fetterman is better than Matt Gaetz or Marjorie Taylor Greene? Why? Because you know that he'll just vote without thought. Just like, there's a certain point where you want somebody, if he has to break the party line, if Oz has to break the party line on the Second Amendment, I won't be happy. But at least he will have thought it out. At least he will have thought it out. Dr. Evil 814, thank you. Okay? I don't, and you see, like, I don't want somebody to, they talked about, like, curbing the second, let's just say, legislation, firearms control, let's just call it that, okay? The criminals don't care. What Oz should have said is, you can make as many, you can put as many laws in the books. Criminals do not abide by laws. You're not saving anyone's life with more laws, because criminals don't care. Criminals do care about reciprocal force. That's why the Second Amendment exists, but that's a whole other story. Arya Lee, hello. Rob Jennings, hello. Randy, hello. I mean, my point, though, is fracking, for example. He has a Bernie Sanders, like, viewpoint. Bernie wanted to ban fracking. If you're on the left, you want to ban fracking. Natural gas is at an all-time high now in price. Fossil fuels in general are at all-time highs. You're going to have to heat your home during the winter. You're not going to use wind or solar. You're going to beg for natural gas. And fracking is a huge part of the Pennsylvania economy. So he was against fracking. And everyone can see, like, if Pat Toomey is saying this, and he's like, maybe the one of the least liberal Republicans, and he's, okay, it's sad to see Fetterman struggling so much. He should take more time to allow himself to fully recover. Everyone saw this. Everyone saw this. Dr. Evil 814, thank you. Everyone saw this. Debbie Jonker, hello. Everyone saw somebody struggling to maintain composure, to maintain some kind of semblance of, being able to communicate. And getting back to the point that I tried to... Can you hear me now, ladies and gentlemen? Can you hear me okay? Like, the way Democrats see things, is, well, anyone is better. Someone recovering from a serious issue is better than Trump. Joe Biden, mashed potato brains, slurring and doddering and stumbling over words That's better than Trump because, Trump is like a menace to society, showing anyone is better than him. We have objectively, a country in decline. And it's because of Democrats. This is what happens when Democrats are in office. Okay, this is what takes place. And we're not talking about even President Obama. Like, that was even a different Democratic Party. Evram, hello. That was even a different Democratic Party from today. You didn't have the societal decline with President Obama. You had a terrible foreign policy. Testing 2741 with no debate have been better for women. Absolutely. But then everybody would have known that he couldn't, hold his own. And now they know. It's funny. He almost had to. Testing 2741. Thank you. Dr. Evil 814. Thank you to my super chat. Thank you so much. I can't do this without you. That's a great question. Yeah, I mean, he had to debate, but at the same time, it's like he probably shouldn't have done so, which would have highlighted the fact that he had all those ailments and those problems. But now, like, without a shadow of doubt, you vote for Fetterman after what you've seen, you really don't care about the future of Pennsylvania. You don't care about the future of the country. I mean, it was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. I mean, really, it was unbelievable. And I don't know what to say other than you had somebody who could not communicate. And that's not hyperbolic to say he couldn't communicate. It is not hyperbolic to say that you can't communicate, that he couldn't communicate. The freak, yeah, it was horrible. It was horrible. I mean, even if Fetterman, okay, so here, you used a closed caption system. The closed caption, by the way, it wasn't working out because he obviously had an earpiece. He was obviously being told what to say. I mean, almost certainly. I don't know if he did, but he's not going to release his medical records. So here, I mean, he's not going to release his medical records because you already know. You're talking about somebody, and God bless him. I don't wish anything harm. He's not in good. Like, you're talking about a human being who's going through serious issues. So the medical records are obviously going to show that. Okay. And then you have, of course, little new ground broken debate so far. Not true at all. Not true at all. This was the worst thing that could happen. And it's not just Democrats in Pennsylvania. It's the worst thing that could happen to Democrats throughout the country. Blake Masters destroyed Kelly in the debate. Herschel Walker did very well against Warnock, who's evicting tenants as a pastor. They said that, like, Herschel Walker is a hypocrite. Like, how can you become a greater hypocrite than being a man of the Lord and evicting tenants and making them homeless? And that's according to the money trail. Like, you can accuse, like, Democrats have accused Herschel Walker, but there's no evidence of anything that he did. There's no evidence. There's money flow, and there's an official inquiry in Georgia. Okay? So, there's no evidence of the quotes that he's alleged to have stated. But, I mean, you look, ladies and gentlemen, and it's like, Fetterman here. So, this is almost certainly not exactly how he communicated. I want to look in the face of, but if you believe that, yeah, it's almost certainly not exactly what he said, because he was adding words here and there. He's always adding words. So I might miss some words during this debate, mush two words together. It knocked me down, but my point is, like, when in American history is it okay for, like, would a candidate like this actually be victorious? It's only like Donald Trump has broken the Democratic Party. He's broken them. He's broken them. Stephen, exactly. They're going to go apoplectic. I mean, he's really broken them. When Fetterman is a legitimate candidate, you know that Trump has actually like broken these people. And they would be ruthless. If it was like, if the tables were turned and Trump or Mehmet Oz or any Republican had the same struggles, oh my God, they'd be ruthless. They would be vicious. The most vicious and ruthless people online are the morally superior liberal Democrats. And they demand the same like respect and empathy. They demand respect and empathy, but they never give it. They never give, because they see it as like a holy battle. They see it like as like this theocratic religious battle. They've replaced religion. These people are like generally atheists. A great many Democrats are atheists because they're really, really intelligent. So there's no evidence that God exists, but there's definitely evidence that Trump is a prejudicial, bigoted Kremlin operative who's mean and offensive and dislikes everybody. Meanwhile, the opposite is true. And so you had a situation where the Democrat, like Joe, see, here's the difference. You had mashed potato brains 2 years ago fumbling and stumbling and making these bizarre verbal creations. But this ain't 2 years ago. We've had 2 years plus now. We're going on our third year of a country in decline. The United States of America is in decline. Okay? Exactly, Rob Jennings. Here's the difference between FDR and Joe and Fetterman. FDR did good things. He did good things. Did some bad things, too. Okay? Yeah. Japanese internment camps, Democrat. Very bad. But he did good things as well. Okay? His track record, you can look, FDR, getting us out of the Depression. Okay. Battling, all of the most evil people who've ever existed in Europe. Okay. Defeating them. You can look at, but what has Biden accomplished? Testing 2741. Pennsylvania still has the most broken. That's going to be very difficult, though, because Oz will fight. Everyone will fight. This is the difference. Well, everyone will go to the courts again. Testing 2741. Thank you. The polls show that it's a statistical tie, but see, again, if the Republican is tied, and Dr. Evil, thank you so much. To my super chat, I cannot do this without you. If it's a tie between a Republican and a Democrat, that means the Republican is up by 2 or 3 points. Okay? The polling industry exists to it's a racket. They get money from Democrats. They put all of their polls that show Fetterman up by 12 and Kelly up by 10 or 12 or 13 or Warnock up by 8 or 9. All of these polls, they're not done to show public sentiment. They're done to be published everywhere in every mainstream publication. And then when it gets closer to people actually voting, they have to actually, the pollsters actually have to do their work. And they can't just go ahead and say, "Oh yeah, Democrat up by 10." Because that's not the case. Tim, they didn't want. If you saw Fetterman, ladies and gentlemen, live, and I saw him live on YouTube. If you saw this man, you would see, like, and I say this with all due respect, it's like the shell of a person that was once lucid, and just like a shell of a person that once was able to communicate. And it's like, could you imagine if the tables were turned? Thank you, Mark. If the tables were turned, do you think that Democrats would be so civil or diplomatic towards Oz? They certainly would not. They certainly would not. There is no way on this planet that they would give a Republican who was struggling in the same manner any benefit of the doubt or support. They would be vicious, ruthless. They would be absolutely despicable towards the person because that's how they roll. That's how they roll. When Donald Trump's brother passed away, okay, Twitter trended #WrongTrump. You're talking about people who say, oh, Trump is so mean, but they are the most, like, the good thing about Trump is that he does, like, fight back. He's a counterpuncher. Sometimes he goes overboard, but see, again, like, they did it with, they did it with, they always do the same thing. Let's put it that way. They always do the same thing. They go after a Republican in the most vicious and despicable manner. You should see what they say against, like, you talk about the most bigoted people. You can't find more prejudice than a Democrat who looks at Herschel Walker. The Democratic Party, it's almost they've been given a license to be bigoted and prejudicial. And there's other ways to explain it, but because the algorithm, I won't even, explain it that way. When they go after Herschel Walker communicates infinitely better than Fetterman. Herschel Walker is able to speak and communicate in a far more efficient and, logical and rational manner than Fetterman. But they went after Herschel Walker like, oh my God. They said the most, the nastiest, most despicable things. Oh my God, if you said the same thing about Fetterman, oh my God. Oh my God. How dare you? This is the thing. Democrats demand respect. They almost demand reverence in some occasions. But they never give that same empathy or respect. Look how they treated Herschel Walker, who doesn't have a physical ailment, who can communicate just fine. And by the way, the manner in which Herschel Walker communicates, I will just leave it at this, is the manner a great many people in the South speak and communicate. That's exactly how a great many people in the South communicate their thoughts. And Democrats have been given a license because it's a political contest, because politics is their religion. They've given themselves a license. The same people who like cancel and pontificate and preach and condemn, they've given themselves a license to act in the most disgusting manner towards Herschel Walker. But, oh my God, if you said something about Fetterman, you're actually, it's the same thing when they said Mashed Potato Brains Joe stuttered. He doesn't have a stuttering problem. He doesn't have a speech impediment. He has a cranium impediment. These people are the biggest hypocrites on the planet. They go after Herschel Walker, but if you went after Fetterman, oh my God, how dare you? I mean, this was actually bad for the entire Democratic Party. This was bad for the entire Democratic Party. Studio, exactly. Because you look at the country, it's objectively worse. If you live in a major city, whether it's Philadelphia or LA or New York, you better look over your shoulder at all times. If you're walking on the street, you should expect the unexpected. Go drive in Los Angeles at 2 in the morning if you have to go to Rite Aid or if you have to go to CVS. It is like a scene from Mad Max. Go drive in any city run by Democrats at 2 in the morning, 1 in the morning. You'll see shopping carts in the middle of the street. You'll see just people roaming the streets. It's like the Michael Jackson Thriller music video. And so you have a situation where every extreme Republican, every Trump martyr, Don, exactly. Every extreme martyr Republican is beating the pants off of the wonderful, logical, rational Democrat. How did that happen? Trump single-handedly, this man is a force of nature. He single-handedly redefined a failed Democratic Party. Then you have Paul Ryan, who is... He was a failure in politics. Really, he was. I mean, you could say, well, how can you say he's a failure? Because, you know, he was a vice presidential pick, Romney's VP pick. Okay, they lost miserably. Romney and Ryan lost miserably. Ryan made no impact other than to expedite the decline of the old guard within the Republican Party. And now he's saying, oh, well, Trump, Trump can't win. Like, he already defeated Clinton, genius. Somebody tell Paul Ryan that Trump was president already. Somebody tell Paul Ryan that Trump was already president. And never in a million years will Paul Ryan ever become president. Trump already defeated Clinton. Romney could not have. If Romney went up against Clinton, we would have had 4 years of a private server in the White House. Because that private server is going into the Oval Office. Trust me on that. And I'm just joking. I don't know. No inside knowledge. Don't know. Oh my God. I'm just, that's just joking. Of course, there would never be a private server with Clinton in the White House. There'd be something else with Clinton. Jenny White Bear. Hello, Jenny. Thank you, Jenny. To my super chat. Thank you, Jenny. Greatly appreciated. I can't do this without you. Thank you, Jenny. I want a Hillary Trump 2024. Bring it. Bring it. Somebody tell Hillary's team, this merry band of imbeciles, that she needs to start running. Like, just say, I'm running. Just say, I'm thinking of 2024. Just, bring it out there. Say, look, and everyone will be fine with it on the left. They'll pretend not to, and you'll eventually see, she'll run again. You watch. If it's not 2 years from now, it'll be 6 years from now. She'll run, but she'll definitely let this. I want a Hillary Trump 2024. But see, the reason that she surrounds herself with people that apparently they don't know anything about politics. Now is the time to say, run. Come on, bring it. Because Trump is going to announce, after midterms, he'll announce. Because, if you look at the list of people who they claim are up and coming, it's the most laughable, hilarious list. Their bench exists of nobody. Let's put it this way. Mashed Potato Brains Joe is probably the only thing they really have. And he doesn't want to run again. So Hillary is the only one who has the ability to be nominee and force everyone to vote for her, and they will. That's true, but they don't have everyone they have is damaged. Everyone they have is damaged goods. I think Hillary Trump 2024, Trump wins. The entire system. And by the way, it's lucrative. So if they say, oh, Clinton will lose again, so what? It's lucrative. I agree with you. Scott. Rob! Love your live streams. Thank you, Rob. Greatly appreciated, Rob. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Rob. Greatly, greatly appreciated. I can't do this without you. Thank you so much to my super chat. Thank you, and I appreciate the kind words. Thank you, Rob. You can't go into a debate with somebody who needs to recover. I mean, it's just like these people are like so ruthless. They would send somebody. This is like sending a lamb to slaughter. This is like, it's like sending out a second string QB to quarterback the last 3 minutes of a football game against the defending Super Bowl champs, and the QB is like, just got to the team, doesn't know the playbook. You look, ladies and gentlemen, and it's like, the thing is, like, you're not going to really get here. Like, since when was this okay? Like, he says, well, you know, and I might miss some words during this debate, but you're talking about the future of the country, though. If Mashed Potato Brains Joe and his bumbling, stumbling band of buffoons in the State Department, bumbling Blinken and his merry band of imbeciles, if they say, oh, we're going to send Americans to Europe, which, by the way, they're close to doing, and maybe they've already done so, American soldiers to Europe. Okay, do you want this person? Oh, gee, you know, I might miss some words, but, you know, I'm going to keep coming back. It's like, well, good, do that. God bless you. But not, don't do it while you're, like, if you are part of America's future and your future is, you know, up in the air, it's not a good situation. Focus on your future, your life, then come back and run. But that's not the way Democrats work. Democrats are like, you know what? We're rolling with him. That's it. Like, oh, okay. Exactly. Testing 2741. Exactly. Come on. It's lucrative. Democrats make a lot of money. Rob, thank you again, sir. Thank you, Rob. Dr. Evil Rob, thank you so very, very much to my super chat. I can't do this without you. Testing 2741. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, they're back. Look, it's a lot of money. Think about how much money you make. What does it matter if you think Hillary cares if she loses again? Not maybe a little bit. You're going to make hundreds of millions of dollars in campaign and you might even fund another dossier. If Bernie gets too close, they'll fund a Bernie dossier. I was in the Holiday Inn. That's what the dossier says. What kind of mishegas is this? I bust my kumquats for everybody and I get a dossier sent at me. They said I enjoy what? I was fracking in a Holiday Inn with a foreign operative. Oh my God. Who told you this? Elizabeth Warren. She failed her DNA test. Oh no. Now I gotta deal with this. She purchased a dossier with the campaign donations. Paid FEC fines, but who cares? They don't even care. They funneled a dossier against their direct political rivals. Complete lies and nonsense. Indy Joy! Thank you, Indy. Thank you, Indy. Greatly appreciated. I hope all is well. Thank you, Indy. Steppenwolf. They accused me of fracking? Oh, what are you talking about? I'm against fracking. They said I was in a Holiday Inn with a foreign operative. I wanted to ban fracking. I wouldn't even do it in a Holiday Inn. What are you talking about? It's like, thank you, Indy. Dr. Evil, thank you. Rob, thank you. To my super chat, thank you. Testing 2741, thank you. They're going, look, this is the way campaigns work. This is why Democrats, they just run like Beto O'Rourke runs for president. What does he care? Here's what happens, okay? You have people that you know, like AOC does this overtly. Okay, Democrats do this with that. It's not just AOC, all the Democrats, okay? Republicans too, but mainly Democrats, like they love this. You get $100 million for your campaign from donations. $200 million if you're Bernie Sanders, let's say, in 2016. Or you get like $600, $700, $800 million or $1 billion if you're Clinton. You have hundreds of vendors. You have people in every city you're going to pay to build a stage, for public relations, media. You make all of these connections. You know every decision maker at every radio station, at every publication. You know construction, companies. You know everyone there is to know when it comes to a campaign. And you're not pocketing the money yourself. The Clintons don't pocket the money. They work. Their thing they have is networking. So they make hundreds of millions in donations. And then what they do is they utilize the networking for future donations and future campaigns and funneling money to Democratic candidates. And, I don't know, maybe like Hunter, graft, it's honest graft. So, exactly, Jane from the country, exactly. So they utilize the networking, and that leads to more speeches, and that leads to more donations in the future. And then who knows how much they pocket for themselves. I mean, who knows? So, you have somebody, you're paying your staff. You're paying everyone around you. Journalists are all over. I mean, a journalist in this country is a Democratic operative that just happens to work in journalism. It's not like, you're going to really investigate private servers. There was a journalist, an ABC News, ABC journalist, who broke the Christopher sign. Okay, he broke the story in Arizona of Bill Clinton and Loretta Lynch. Okay. The poor man, passed away, but he was a former University of Alabama football player. He had a lot of courage, okay? He was the only one who broke the story. He was the only one who broke the story of the tarmac. He has a book, Secret on the Tarmac, Inside the Clandestine Tarmac Meeting of Bill Clinton and Loretta Lynch. How the story of how journalism, a secret informant, and Alabama football impacted a presidential. Okay, so Christopher Sign, he has a book. He was a TV anchor. For a local ABC station in Phoenix. Okay, he was the only person to break that story. Could you imagine? So Christopher Sign is a true journalistic hero. Not because he broke a story detrimental to Democrats, because he broke a story that nobody else wanted to break. And it just so happens that most of the corruption is within the Democratic Party. You wouldn't know it, though, because you have the New York Post, the Daily Mail, the Federalist, the Washington Times. I'm not sure if the Washington Examiner really is interested in breaking those stories. But you don't really have a handful of publications actually doing journalism and actually breaking stories about how corrupt Democrats are. The corruption is not with Trump. The apoplectic, hysterical, maniacal obsession with Trump is sad and unhealthy for the country, but it's the only thing Democrats have. Sir Blake, exactly. You have graft and bribery schemes. You have candidates who are obviously one fry short of a Happy Meal. And here's the thing. It's like they get the benefit of the doubt always. And Joe's going to get impeached in 2023. Okay, you got to understand, ladies and gentlemen. When people say nothing's ever going to happen, nothing's ever going to happen. 2023 is going to be one of the most exciting times in American history because you're going to have the pendulum swing away from the Democratic Party. They're going to be on the defensive every single day. You'll have Rand Paul, Ron Johnson, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Matt Gaetz, Jim Jordan, James Comer. You will have every single Senate and House committee truly investigating criminal behavior of Joe Biden and especially of Hunter. Lance Miller, exactly. There will be a red wave. The Senate looks really good. Exactly. You have mashed potato brains in the House, and you have French fries. I don't even know. Fried potato in Pennsylvania. So, red wave could take hold. Will Republicans win both houses? And they'll win the Senate. And I was saying this, if you watch this channel, I was saying this when the Democrats were up in the polls. So, it's not like I'm just saying it now. Go look at the segments that I've done the past 3 months. I said Senate going to go red. And in terms of they're inflating like a balloon. They're inflating. The stock market is going to crash very hard. You'll see easily a 1,000-point drop. Probably might even at 1,500 point. It might even be something like a 2,000, 3,000 point drop soon. It'll be like a one-day nightmare. It'll be like a one-day nightmare. Twice baked potato. You have a twice baked. Eric, you have a twice-baked potato in Pennsylvania. But here, I mean, it's like... The whole idea of closed caption, like, you have somebody that has to read the questions as they're being spoken to him. Again, it's no disrespect. You don't here's the thing. You don't have to be senator. Nobody is forcing anyone to be senator. It's not like he has to be senator. Okay? And everything, like, he's not every single thing that he said when it comes to crime, fracking, you should have heard Fetterman's response when it came to Roe v. Wade. Like, he was kind of all over the place. He didn't communicate. Like, each one of his sentences were combined with other sentences to where if you read them, if you read his words, like if they actually transcribed, if the transcript actually shows how he spoke, actually, like, if you can read exactly how he uttered those, how he spoke his words, it's all over the place. The sentences do not make sense. He did not make sense in terms of, like, it's very weird to be like, yes, and this is what I mean, and I stand for what I mean, okay? And that's what I've always stood for because I meant meaning stand for. Like, it was that type of thing. It was like, what? What's going on here? I don't get also, like, we're a country in decline, and it's directly the fault of Democrats. It's not even a debate. Like, even if you want to say it's not our fault, it's like, well, there's a one-party rule for 2 years. You're the House, the Senate, and the Oval Office with mashed potato brains. How could it not be your fault? And then he basically abandoned Bernie, saying, after all I did for you, Fetterman, now you're treating me the way Elizabeth Warren treated me. Thanks a lot. That's what friends are for good times and bad times, and whenever it's politically expedient to throw me in the trash, the ash heap of history, like all the other commies. That's what friends are for. Thanks a lot for backing me. Why do I get the feeling that all my friends are just waiting to backstab me, like the OJ song? I don't even be home, but they still keep on calling. Don't even... Oh, they still keep on calling. I'm not even home, but they keep calling. Why is that? Maybe it's to speak to the missus. But I'm not home. Thanks a lot, Fetterman. Everyone takes a gigantic poop on Bernie. Another poop on me, huh? They're like, oh, I never really liked Bernie Sanders. I didn't like, oh, what's this? And then, like, they're like, oh, yeah, we want to ban fracking. Fetterman's like, I want to ban fracking. Like, well, now you don't want to ban fracking. Which one is it? And then Fetterman said, 3 years ago you had on your show him. Oh, yes, him. Yes, Bernie, you had on your show. And you hugged Bernie. It was like watching Frankenstein, after like a bolt of lightning hitting those little things. It was like watching Frankenstein go back and forth. I mean, it's like, you said you liked it, and now you don't. Okay, then. Lee, thank you. Char West, hello. Stop, listen, think, hello. Eddie, hello. It was like watching the 85 Bears versus Jerry Nadler's softball team. Okay, by the way, they're not actually giving the exact words, and this is the problem with media. They're not giving his exact quotes. He did not say it like this. 3 years ago, he was on a show. I love this guy. No, he didn't say it like that. It was kind of like, 3 years ago on your show, hug Bernie. You were hugging Bernie Sanders, were you? Yeah, and you know what? Go, Vermont, why don't you go? Go to Vermont. It was terrible. It wasn't just like, this wasn't the exact quote. The walls are... It was so bad. It was so bad. Exactly, Indy. Everyone knows it too, like... And here's the thing, he doesn't have to be senator. He doesn't have to be senator. Here's a man also who went after, he pulled a firearm. This is typical Democrat. He pulled a firearm on somebody that he wrongly believed to be part of a crime. I had the opportunity to defend our community. Okay, you can make a split-second decision, but if a Republican does that, it's prejudice, bigoted. Oh, okay, we get how it's my God. It's like unbelievable. So he went after, with a firearm, an innocent black man just jogging, and then that's okay because he's Democrat and he's Fetterman, the Democrat. Where's the outrage on this? But you're not going to get outrage. He goes after an innocent man and no outrage. I had the opportunity to defend our community. Well, you weren't defending. You went after an innocent person. Man, unbelievable. With a firearm, by the way. So you know what? It's unbelievable. It is completely unbelievable. And why? And this is the thing. Why wasn't he wearing, like, I think he was wearing a suit during the debate, right? Exactly. Testing, exactly. Inflation. In every article is like, inflation. Gee, if it was Trumpflation. They would have made it. They would have made a word called Trumpflation. It's Trumpflation. And with the recession, Trump session, Trumpicession, Trumpflation. And then, could you imagine if we were like on the brink of nuclear possible annihilation with Trump? Is it worth it? You voted for Trump. You're a messiah. The orange messiah, Trump. Is it worth it? You want to destroy the planet because you worship him. Ah! Meanwhile, with Biden, it's like, how to survive a possible annihilation from ICBMs. These are the foods that I think. Like, there was one article: best foods to survive a nuclear confrontation. Acai berries are very good for when everyone's glowing. Yes, at least Trump isn't tweeting. I mean, look what you'd rather. You could be having a great economy now, but Trump would be so mean and annoying. Why would you want that? Why would you want a great economy? I mean, who wants that? Will, hello. I mean, we could be having a great economy now, and they would be hysterical regarding Trump. Oh my God, he's so extreme, he's so horrible. That's the thing. Trump has to get some of these like people on his side. Exactly. Testing 2741. G Corber, hello. To my super chat. Thank you so much again. I cannot do this without you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Dr. Evil 814. Rob, everyone here, thank you. Jenny, thank you. Indy, thank you. Testing, thank you. So, let's see. Fracking. He was definitely against fracking. So, I don't support fracking at all, and I never have. Fetterman said in 2018. That's the thing with the left. They don't believe if there's like a climate change activist that happens to see this, or a left-leaning activist, or a progressive or Democrat that actually stumbles upon this and listens to this. I was on the left my entire life. I can tell you, Democrats, a great many progressives, most of the left do not believe. They don't really believe in the things that they claim to believe in. It's a group mentality, and a lot of people I was even one of these people. I was like, oh, ban fracking. But I didn't really realize how important it was to the United States economy at that time, because I was more interested in it being moral. But it is immoral not to understand what you're talking about. It is immoral to ban fracking when people can't afford to heat their homes. That is immoral. That is borderline evil. And so you're engaging in a sinister policy just because you think you're doing the right thing. G. Corber, thank you. G. Corber, thank you so very much. Steppenwolf, you're right. G. Corber, thank you so very much. To my super chat, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. G. Corber, thank you. Bernie Sanders, here's the thing. He's not talking about banning fracking now because energy costs are too high. Energy costs are way too high. G. Corber, thank you so much. To my super chat, thank you. I appreciate your support, everybody. I don't support fracking at all, and I never have. I've signed the No Fossil Fuels Money Pledge. Here's the thing. He's obviously lying, but if you have a Democratic Senate and there's a bill banning fracking, they will ban fracking. Okay? And you're not doing anyone any good if you claim to be for the working class and then you ban fracking. It's probably the stupidest thing in the world to do. But see, again, you're talking about very idealistic people who are making grandiose claims about the economy without really understanding what could happen to the economy. If you ban fracking, what happens to the economy? Oh, and then he flip-flopped on Medicare for all. He's like, oh, I don't want socialized medicine. Then he goes, Fetterman to campaign. He campaigned with Bernie Sanders. Thanks for distancing yourself from me. Thanks for all those things you said about me. Really nice of you. Thanks a lot. So it's like, of course he's going to ban fracking and of course he's going to do those things. I mean, you see him, right? This is the thing. The Bernie Sanders policies are bad for business. They're bad for the economy. That's why nobody's talking about Medicare for all or banning fracking or the criminal justice reform that lets out violent criminals. All of these Democrats are moving away from Democratic positions on every topic. They're moving away from these positions because they know that their policies have made things worse. Climate change, for example. They're not talking about limiting fossil fuels. They're not talking about net zero emissions. They're not talking about decarbonizing the economy. Why aren't they talking about AOC's Green New Deal now? Okay? Why aren't they talking about the Green New Deal? They're not talking about the Green New Deal because everyone knows it's not only is it not feasible, it would tank the U.S. economy. They tried they had their initial foray into going after oil and gas companies didn't work out. Now they immediately begged them to pump more gas or more fuel or drill more. They were saying drill, baby, drill, but not in the way that Sarah Palin did, in a different way. And you have Biden, who released 200 million barrels of strategic petroleum reserves. Okay? 200 million barrels of strategic petroleum reserves. It's a serious thing. Then he's begging OPEC. So, none of Bernie's policies are being championed by Democrats now, okay? Because they're not feasible or they hurt the economy. So, that's the thing. They don't believe in it. Like, if you believe in protecting the planet and climate and all that, and the consensus among 97% of all the experts, okay, and scientists, then just say, look, the economy is going to suffer. Why don't Democrats just say this, what they mean? The economy is going to suffer, but we'll save the planet. But they don't say that. They don't say that. Why don't they say that? Why don't they just say, look, you know what? You're upset now, but your future generations will thank you. Never in a million years would they say this. Never in a million years would they say this. Eric! Thank you, Eric. Thank you. Greatly, greatly appreciated, Eric. To my super chat, thank you so much. I can't do this without you, everybody. Eric, thank you. Thank you so very much. I should be doing another live stream later tonight. I'm pretty sure I will. Pretty sure. Either that or an upload. I'm not sure. Oh, Lord, why do I get the dating sites? Eric, thank you so very much. Greatly, greatly, greatly appreciated, Eric. I hope all is well. I hope all is well. Thank you, Eric. Yeah, I mean, it's like, I'm not sure if you saw the debate, Eric, but my God almighty. My God almighty. This poor man on the left. Let's see. What does the Free Beacon say about... Okay. Pennsylvania test scores fell sharply. You look at... What are they good at? Aside from destroying things, Democrats, what are they good at? And pontificating and preaching. And blaming the Kremlin for everything. Let's see. Philadelphia Inquirer. Oh my God. Lord Almighty. Why? Why, Lord? I just want to read this. Okay. For many Democrats, Fetterman's performance didn't assuage worries. Oh, gee, you think? Didn't help things, huh? All he did was he renew vicious attacks. Like, well, you do the same thing. Eric, thank you again. To my super chat, thank you. Yeah, it didn't help. And if you look at the polls, let's see here. Okay. Okay, so Oz Fetterman, RCP. You'll see a public relations poll tomorrow. Fetterman up 5, and then you'll see the polls showing the actual. Yeah, so Fetterman up 1.3. I don't believe that at all. I don't believe that at all. That's complete and utter nonsense. I think the tie, the Philadelphia Inquirer said it was a tie. But also, it's like, testing 2741. I got to roll. Keep up the great journalism, HA. Thank you so very much. I appreciate your support greatly. Great questions and discussion. Also, testing 2741. Thank you. Thank you. Eric, thank you again for your support. To my super chat again, I can't thank you enough. Gosh. Do you know how much fun we're going to have on November 8th? Do you know how much fun we're going to have? The meltdown alone from like Hollywood celebrities, like you chose authoritarianism. You're rich, you're wealthy. What are you talking about? You don't care. These people don't care. They're wealthy. Mehmet Oz, Blake Masters and Oz have run pretty good campaigns. Herschel Walker too, but Mehmet Oz and Fetterman Mehmet Oz and Blake Masters ran really good campaigns. Really good campaigns. Like, they were basically done for. They were basically done. If you looked at the polls like up 2 months ago, it almost looked like Oz had no chance. So Oz was on the attack too. Oh my God. He's just let loose. And every time Oz spoke, he was like, "Can't you see I'm speaking normally? Can't you just see? Look at the difference. Look at the difference. Look how I'm speaking." Like, you could see that he was trying to like emanate that. It was kind of amusing. It was kind of hilarious. Exactly, Tammy. He did have a little temper. It was kind of like watching a very wealthy man, just go at it. And just be like, you know what? So according to the rehabilitation specialist, he did very well. I think he did very well. He was able to formulate fluent, thoughtful, and no, they were not fluent. I don't know how thoughtful they were, but they were not fluent at all. He was like so sad. It was like, and you say that you in Vermont, go live in Vermont then, live there, why don't you? And you are lies when you open mouth lie all the time. It was terrible. My position has always been the position of mine. Okay, there you go. What more do you need? It was bad. I'm not trying to poke fun at him. I'm just saying. Look, hey, you know what? Anyone could go through what he's going through. But at the same time, we're not going to run for Senate. So it's like... This was bad for the entire... This was, like, bad for the entire... who won the debate? But let's look at this. Of course, if it says Fetterman, you know it's, like, nonsense. But here, I'll just go Mehmet Oz. Wow, look at that. 18th... Well, you know what? The internet polls usually do better. Like, they would always say Bernie would defeat Clinton and Trump defeated, they were more honest. 77% say Oz out of 18,000 responses. Wow. 77%. Wow. Here, let's just, here. Do you think Trump GOP All right, how about this? And it's okay to just give me your thoughts. Like, if it's a no, then it's fine, too. You think Trump GOP wins the Senate tonight after the Oz-Feder debate? I agree with that. So what do you think? Do you think that the GOP wins the Senate? I mean, it was a pretty, like, Brian, I agree with that. It was a pretty stunning victory by Oz. Like, it's not even really, like, Oz didn't really do anything, like, other than show up and communicate normally. Not even, if he was up against, wow, all 50, exactly. Because they have to flip Laxalt will win in Nevada, okay? Blake Masters looks really good. .com, hello. Blake Masters looks really, really good, okay? Herschel Walker looks really good, too. That'll probably go to a runoff, and then Herschel Walker will win the runoff. But Blake Masters looks really good. He is, like, the trend is moving towards Trump Republicans because people don't want to see society crumble. Like, the country is, like, actually crumbling before our very eyes. So, cash flow, I didn't. Tell us about it. I didn't. So, I mean, you look, you have Oz winning in Pennsylvania, Blake Masters actually putting the upset victory, and Peter Thiel will be an absolute genius. He'll be an absolute genius when it comes to politics. And by the way, Mitch McConnell did everything possible for Blake Masters to lose. Mitch McConnell is like, if the Senate goes Trump Republican, they need to remove McConnell from the leadership, the Senate Majority Leader. That would be terrible. He did nothing. Mitch McConnell did nothing. Actually, Trump Republicans would win despite McConnell. Despite McConnell. So, absolutely, Mark, he's definitely going to run. You have Blake Masters in, let's see, Blake Masters. GOP back in contention. But here, so if you look, Biden predicts. That's funny. GOP leaps back and Republicans game steam is Senate battle. 538 is hilarious. Like they're like, oh yeah, by the way, now we're looking at Republicans doing better. About a week ago, I took a screenshot on my phone. It was like it was like 80% chance Democrats win, something like that. It was like an 80% chance, according to 538. To my super chat, thank you again. I cannot do this without you people. It was like a 80% chance. Well, that hurts my feelings. My feelings are hurt. My feelings are so hurt. My feelings are hurt. My feelings are hurt. Yeah. They said it was like 538 said it was like 80% chance that the Senate goes Democrat. They have all these like computer programs, like our computer programs have run thousands of simulations, and 80% of the time Democrats win. And then a week later, 70% of the time. And then a week later, 50-50. So, to my super chat again, thank you everybody. I cannot do this without you people. Exactly. Jim Jordan should be Speaker of the House. Cool Blue 71, Mark Smith. You the man, HA. Thank you so very much, Mark. Thank you. Thank you, Mark. Greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. Cool Blue 71. Thank you. Gas, ours flip, 238, 45 seats between 51, 50 seats. That would be fantastic. Pickups from Nevada as tipping point, and with possible Georgia and Arizona. Yeah. I think Arizona is probably a safer bet in my view than even Georgia. Georgia's very bizarre. It's very bizarre. With Arizona too. The Republicans in Georgia are a very unique breed of. I don't even know what kind of breed, but the Republicans in Georgia are very unique. Let's put it that way. They're unique at losing. So, Cool Blue 71, thank you. Mark Smith, thank you. I mean, do it for the Georgia Bulldogs. If you're in Georgia, and I say this respectfully. I mean, the Georgia Bulldogs are supposed to be like the top, the top university in Georgia in terms of, tradition, okay? I mean, am I wrong? I don't think so. Okay, so, you have University of Georgia alumni in like top positions in the government, and you got Herschel Walker in a red state, a legend, and you're going to lose to the Democrat. And you have, I mean, like, this is not like, who am I? I love USC Trojans. I'm from California, but you would think that all the top people in the upper echelon, within politics in Georgia, all the alumni from the University of Georgia, all the Bulldogs, you would think that they wouldn't lose to a Democrat in a red state. You would think they would just represent for one of the greatest Georgia Bulldogs ever in Herschel Walker. But no, we have to, it's now up in the air. So they're very unique. Very unique. Cool Blue 71. I think Arizona's even better bet. Mark Smith, thank you so much, Mark. Greatly appreciated. Send my super chat, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mark. I'd love to be Speaker of the House. The problem is, let's see. I would not be diplomatic at all. Well, which would probably be good in terms of politics nowadays. Mark, thank you. Cool Blues 71, thank you to my super chat. Thank you. We'll go like about 10 more minutes, maybe less. Yeah, I don't get that. Let's see. Blake Masters, I think, can will stun a lot of people. And he ran an amazing campaign. I wouldn't say he's an amazing candidate, but he's a million times better than Kelly. But he's running an amazing campaign. I mean, like, if you're in Arizona, Blake Masters pretty much addresses every one of your needs. Then you get libertarians. How is the libertarian, like, what happened to the Green Party? No Green Party people? Okay. Exactly, Brian. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. I will probably either have an upload or a live stream later this evening. Check the channel at around 10 p.m. Pacific to find out. So be here, check the channel at around 9:45 p.m. Pacific to find out if I'm having a live stream or not. Hit subscribe, everybody. Thank you so much to my super chat. Thank you again. I cannot do this without you, everybody. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you. I feel very bad for the Democrat. That's all I can say. I think that, howdy, hello, I think that Republicans won the Senate tonight. I really do. Give me your thoughts below, everybody. Thank you to my super chat so much. Thank you. I can't do this without you.